Welcome back to the Educator's Pulse, everyone. I'm your host, Sochata, and we are so thrilled you're joining us for episode 43. Today, we're diving into a topic that usually sparks a lot of, well, let's call them spirited conversations in the staff lounge: professional development.
Spirited is a very kind word for it, Suchata. It's great to be here. I think if you polled 100 teachers about PD, you'd get 100 different sighs before they even started talking.
Exactly. It's that deep, heavy exhale, isn't it? But why? Why does something designed to help us grow often feel like such a burden? Mr. Cerrone, you've been in the classroom for over 20 years. What's the first feeling that hits you when a PD email lands in your inbox?
Thoughtful pause. Honestly, it's a mix of hope and immediate exhaustion. You hope it's the one session that finally addresses the chaos of your third period class, but the exhaustion comes from the fear that it's just another sit and get session where someone who hasn't seen a student in a decade reads slides to you.
Ouch. That sit and get fatigue is so real. I felt it too. It's like there's this massive disconnect between the theory being presented and the messy, beautiful reality of a 30-student classroom.
That is exactly it. When you're sitting there and the presenter is talking about high-level conceptual frameworks, and all you can think about is the broken pencil sharpener and the 3 kids who didn't eat breakfast, you feel invisible. You feel like the system doesn't actually see your daily life.
That's a powerful word, invisible. So let's flip the script. Have you ever walked out of a PD session feeling light? Like you couldn't wait for Monday morning?
Smiling warmly. Oh, absolutely. I remember this one workshop on restorative justice. It wasn't just a lecture, it was a circle. We shared our own failures. I felt vulnerable, but I also felt supported. I walked out feeling like I had a new lens, not just a new folder of handouts.
I love that. It sounds like the difference is human connection. When PD treats teachers like learners with emotions and experiences, rather than just data entry machines.
Nodding firmly. Spot on. Teachers are the ultimate observers. We can smell a lack of authenticity from a mile away. If the facilitator isn't in it with us, we check out. We start grading papers under the table. We've all been there.
I may or may not be guilty of a little under-the-table grading myself. But seriously, Cerrone, what about the role of choice? It seems like autonomy is a huge part of teacher perception.
Seriously, it's everything. When we are told what we need to learn, it feels like a critique of our competence. But when we are asked what we want to explore, that's an invitation to mastery. That's professional respect.
Thoughtfully, professional respect. That feels like the missing ingredient in so many programs. I've noticed that the best PD often happens in the hallway, teacher to teacher. Why don't we formalize that more?
Wistfully, because that's hard to track on a spreadsheet, Suchata. But you're right. My best development came from watching the math teacher across the hall manage a difficult group with just a look and a quiet word. That was a masterclass.
Excitedly. So if you were the Minister of Education for a day, how would you change the feeling of PD for teachers nationwide?
With a determined tone, I'd start by listening. I'd spend 60% of the budget on collaborative time, letting teachers work together on their own problems of practice. I'd make it about us and our students, not them and their standards.
Inspired. I can almost feel the collective sigh of relief from our listeners right now. It's about agency. It's about feeling like an expert in your own craft.
Softly. Exactly. We give so much of our hearts to the kids. It would be nice if the system gave a little bit of that heart back to us through meaningful support.
With a gentle closing tone, that is a perfect place to wrap up today's discussion. Mr. Cerrone, thank you for your honesty and your passion. It's clear that for PD to work, it has to touch the heart as much as the mind.
Warmly. Thank you, Suchata. It was a pleasure to share. To all the teachers listening, your growth matters because you matter.
Brightly. And that's a wrap for episode 43. Join us next week as we talk about the architecture of modern classrooms. Until then, keep breathing, keep teaching, and keep growing. This is the Educator's Pulse.